everybody, it's AlexisMaurice and my co-host, Mr.
Trey Hollywood.
And it is time for an all-new episode of The Wine Up. So go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine, pull up a chair, because we are about to discuss the latest hot topics. Now, before we begin, make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you comment and let us know what you're thinking as we're going along, as we're talking. Make sure that you share this video on all of your social media platforms, and make sure that you subscribe. Now, you go ahead and do all of that. Trey's gonna go ahead and take his first sip. Trey, what are you drinking on?
White Zinfandel.
Okay, you done switched it up a little bit. Okay, I like that.
I thought you'd be proud of me.
I'm glad that you are expanding your palate, because it's very limited. So I am glad.
I try.
Another thing that I was glad to see, I ain't gonna tell you no lie, bitch, that NeNe and Carlos King interview was everything, okay? NeNe came back to let the girls know that she is that girl, okay? She is that bitch.
Well, the queen is here, honey.
Honey, the queen of reality television.
This is the interview that we have been waiting for. Carlos King started his podcast some months ago or whatever, and he's had basically every relevant housewife on the show, with the exception of NeNe. We've been waiting for NeNe, but we finally got it. And NeNe was like, I'm that girl. You ain't finna talk to me on Zoom. You're not finna talk to me on StreamYard, bitch. You're gonna talk to me face to face, okay? So bring your ass to Atlanta so we can sit down and we can talk about some things. Trey, what did you think about the interview?
First of all, NeNe didn't want to have that Zoom call because she know that Wi-Fi at the house wasn't that strong, and so she didn't want her connection to be boggling. So I don't know why she's trying to act like she got strong Wi-Fi at the house. That's why she wanted to come down and have this face-to-face so that we can make sure that her, connection was right.
Now, let me say this. I cannot stand Comcast. But one thing them bitches got now, they got a good connection. You can't take that from them. The connection is strong.
Okay. I guess like her back is strong like her back. Because she carried the show, right? Supposedly she carried everything on her back.
And did.
But NeNe was on 10. NeNe was on 10 that she didn't necessarily need to be on 10.
She
made it seem like every single person on the Real Housewives franchise is against her. Everybody is against NeNe. She's the victim. Everybody trying to get her out. But what I didn't understand was why she felt like she needed to drag Cynthia, why she needed to drag Kenya, why she needed to drag Sheree. So this is my thing. I feel like everything that's new has to start with someone. Of course, it's going to be that one individual, and that person was NeNe, right?
She was a breakout star.
She had the big bold personality, but they needed to have diversity. They needed to have different stuff like Cynthia. They needed to have someone like Lisa, somebody like Deshaun, somebody like Kim. So they had that mixture, and it made it work. What I don't like is that she makes it seem like the show would not have been successful, right? Would not have been successful without. No, let me say it this way. It made it seem like it would have been less successful if it did not have those other women. I feel like she's not giving the credit to the people who started the show with her. Deshaun had been there. To me, Deshaun has always been boring. Lisa had always been kind of controversial. Kim, I like Kim because I felt like she was good for the show. But when you found Kim, Sheree, and NeNe, it made a good show. I feel like it wouldn't have been as successful if it did not have those three.
Okay, but let me tell you why you're wrong, okay? Let me explain to you why you're wrong, Trey. First of all, I don't think NeNe took away anything from those other girls, because throughout the entire interview, she did give them their accolades. She gave Sheree her accolades for that moment that she locked her out or left her off the list.
And took the accolade back.
That's what gave birth to the star that we know as Benithia NeNe Leakes, okay?
So thank you,
Sheree, for that.
Sheree made her who she is. That's what you're saying?
Sheree didn't make her who is. It was the
Sheree made NeNe.
Did. See, NeNe said y'all thought she was gonna be the underdog. Y'all thought that nobody wasn't gonna like me, honey.
She thought that
everybody loves me. Everyone loves NeNe.
And that's her point, playing the victim. Everybody thought I was going to be who ever said she was going to be the underdog? Why? Because she didn't have a husband who was a football player, a basketball player? Nobody ever said that.
Come on now. You know when people look down on you or when people think that you're not going to be it. When NeNe say, Sheree thought that she was going to be the it girl. She thought that she was going to be the star of the show because she was married married to an NFL player. She had this big house, this lavish life. But come to find out, it was NeNe Leakes who ended up being the star of the show. Now, let me ask you a question. NeNe and Sheree kind of have had a tumultuous relationship. One minute they're good, one minute they're bad. I think it was the beginning of the second season when her and NeNe got into it. NeNe said, I was cashing Trump checks. Do you think that one of the reasons why Sheree and her hadn't clicked, as she said, because before the show they did, but once the show started, they didn't. Do you think there is a level of jealousy that Sheree may have had for NeNe because NeNe became the breakout star of the show?
I really don't think so. Like, let me say this about Sheree. You know, I'm not Sheree's biggest fan in some time, but I just don't see, and I'm being really honest, I don't see Sheree being the type of individual that it would be jealous of someone. She just doesn't give me that energy. Now, if I was to name a couple people from the show, I would say there is some people on the show who would be. But Sheree, I just don't get that from her, that she is someone who would be jealous of what somebody else has accomplished. I feel like Sheree is the type of person more so to continue to grind and make a point. I would say, you know what, I did this. I got this done. I got my house done. I got Sheba Sheree out. He never gave up. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see her being the same.
She's the little engine that could. She just kept on a choo-choo and a choo-choo and a choo-choo.
I just don't see her being jealous of NeNe. Not saying that NeNe is not someone to be jealous of.
I could possibly see someone maybe being a little bit jealous of NeNe because of the fact that we all started this thing together. Kim went on and had her spinoff. NeNe was not only the star of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she became the face of the Housewives franchise. And she went on to do acting. And then you got Sheree, who is 1 minute she's in, 1 minute she's out. Tag Sheree, you're it, you're out the game. Tag Sheree, you're it, you're back again, you out the game. Now she's back in again. And you're right, we've seen Sheba Sheree, we've seen the Chateau Sheree, but things did move a little slower for her than what it did for some of the other ladies. So I could understand how one might be jealous in a situation like that. So now don't get me wrong. I ain't always been one of NeNe's biggest supporters. I have a love-hate relationship with NeNe like I do with Beyonce sometimes. But you cannot, and you will not, and you will never, in my presence, try to downplay the role and the impact that NeNe has had, not only on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Footnote, she was saying that she felt like she wasn't supported, that the girls in Atlanta didn't like her. But you will also recognize the fact that the whole Housewives franchise was built on the back of NeNe Leakes. You can't take that away from her.
So this is my thing.
The housewife that put Bravo on the map, like not only the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but how NeNe Leakes did.
I gotta be good.
No, I can't agree. Yes, it started with NeNe, like I said, and I'm not taking nothing away from NeNe. She's this big, bold personality, whatever the case may be. But
and
I feel
you
like
felt that presence in the interview. Like that personality was there. Like, we missed that trade. We missed that on our screen. Come on now. NeNe gave Kenya her flowers during this particular interview. She's like, Kenya was a great addition to the show. Carlos was like, do you think the show needs Kenya? And I feel right now the show does need Kenya, because if you were to remove Kenya from the equation, what would we have?
Marlo and Candy going back and forth.
As you can see, no one is really interested in it. They're over that. Kenya brings a different flavor. Portia brought a different flavor. Now, what I did thought was interesting was when NeNe basically said that the show started to become a little fake or performative when Phaedra got there. And then, you know, of course, Portia and Kenya brought an element to that too, because the first 3 seasons, to my point, she said, we were real. We were real housewives. We did not have jobs. We were only paid $10,000 the first season, maybe $50,000 the second season, $100,000 the third season.
So this is my thing. I saw a post that was shared to us earlier today about how Kenya feeds more into the fact that she needs somebody to balance her. She needs a challenge. And that's what makes Kenya thrives more. And I actually saw, like, I should kind of agree where you say where Kenya basically is maybe kind of bored. These girls not giving her nothing. So she's just really just there getting a check, you know, twirling. You know, we seeing her and her beautiful daughter. She's being active in the vacations and the trips they take. What we had when NeNe was on this show is the same thing of what we were saying about Kenya. When NeNe was on this show, NeNe had somebody to go back and forth with. She had a friend. No, let me finish. She had a friend in Marlo, right? But she also had Sheree to go back and forth with. Then she had Kenya to go back and forth with. And then she had Candy to go back and forth with. Of course,
she had Portia to go back and forth with. Which is NeNe's point. Why is it that all of these girls feel like they have to come after me? Why do you have to bother me?
So
every
what
time
you're
you
saying?
come on the show? Why me?
But that's the same thing that Candy's dealing with. Everybody's coming for Candy. Listen, but you didn't want to admit that when I stated everybody come for Candy. Anybody who knew comes on the show want to have some type of beef with Candy. Because why? Because she is the girl of the show now.
Okay, girl, bye.
Let's talk about about the whole thing, the accusations that she made against Cynthia Bailey? How she basically said that Cynthia was in cahoots with whomever, whether it be production or whether it be the other housewives or whether it be all of them, to get her off of the show, to stop her bag. Do you believe that there's some truth to that?
So Cynthia Bailey herself has said that she's a different person off of TV. You know, she gives off this sister vibe that she wants to give and want everybody to be kumbaya on the show. But she can come with it if she needs to.
NeNe has basically said that in the interview too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. NeNe's not really telling us anything new. But it just hurt my feelings that NeNe even would say that Cynthia would do it. I don't believe that Cynthia went behind NeNe bag and said, hey, we need to get this bitch off the show. Now, Cynthia may have went and said, you know what, I can't believe, I'm going through this with NeNe. I can't believe we're going through this. I can't believe she's taking me through this. She's treating me this way. And they may have came off as she's trying to get me off the show. I don't think she went to cahoots with somebody else about, she need to get off the show.
That's what I think could have happened.
She let a gay get in her ear.
What? Put on my investigation glasses here, okay? Let me tell you what I think could have happened. I think that there could have been a plot to remove or try to dethrone NeNe. I think all of those ladies was like, you know what? I'm a little sick of Mrs. Lanithia NeNe Leakes, okay? Her ego is out of control. She thinks she's better than all of us. She's making more money than all of us. All of the girls could have been a little bit jealous of her. So they decided that, girl, okay, let's ice eat NeNe out just a little bit or whatever. Let's make it difficult for her. Now, if Bravo and production was also kind of a little tired of NeNe, you can see there being some type of murmurings or some murmurs of them trying to dethrone the bitch. But as we can see, regardless of how they try to take NeNe out, NeNe is still here. She looks amazing. And she came to remind all these bitches that I'm that girl, okay?
You know what I do wish? I do wish that she would have wore something different.
Like,
she looked amazing, but I just wish she would have wore maybe like some cute, tight jeans, a cute top and some heels. Just to be like kind of comfy, like you kind of like we're going out for like some cocktails kind of like thing. I just feel like she was overdressed for the sit down. I wish she would have wore something.
She was overdressed at all. She had to let you bitches know that she's here. The queen is still here. The house that NeNe built. They are all sitting in the house that NeNe built.
And I'll show you something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull a NeNe. Yeah.
You know you need to come back because you weren't in the episodes. You need those checks, girl.
But like I said, with the whole Cynthia thing, Cynthia doesn't give me that kind of girl, but I can see her possibly knowing about certain things and maybe sitting back a little idle and just kind of letting it happen because of where her and NeNe were. I did find it interesting the amount of money that those ladies made. $10,000 the first season with $5,000 as a reunion bonus. Again, reunions wasn't a thing until The Real Housewives of Atlanta had their season 1 reunion. Okay,
I was making more money a year than they was.
Second season, $50,000. Third season, $100,000, and then she said they started making a bag after that. Is NeNe gonna ever come back to Real Housewives of Atlanta? I doubt it. I can't see the network anymore. Someone who's tried to sue them, who tried to defame them. I can't see that happening, but crazier things that happen. Now, what I can see happening is Mrs. Carlee Russell going to jail.
Jail. Jail.
Is it Carlee or Carlee? What is it?
Jail. Miss Jail Russell. That's her name. Jail Russell. Like her. Clink. I want to see her behind bars like this. I want to see her. Let me out.
So y'all, it was all a dream. It was all a hoax. It was a plot,
it was a scheme,
a trick.
The Tide set up to come back to us. Tide set up.
I didn't have nothing to do with this.
To come back to us with the bullshit. With the bullshit.
It could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bullshit.
Don't you bring Todd into this foolishness. This was all her. This young lady had the world looking for her. We were all praying for you, girl. We was all rooting for you. We was looking for you. Your ass was playing hide and go seek with your own damn self. You didn't girl, for real.
For real.
So what happened was Carlee Russell decided that she was gonna call the police one night and say, oh my God, there's an infant walking along the interstate and I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on with her. Oh my God. Say what? Girl, yes, it's an infant walking along the interstate. Hold on. Let me call you back 911. Let me call my sister real quick and tell my family member what I'm seeing too. Ring, ring, ring. Family member. Oh my God, it's a baby walking on the middle of the street. I'm about to get out my car and I'm about to go see what's going on with this baby. So she got off the phone, went and started walking, looking for the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Is everything okay? Who was she talking to? We don't know. Yes, we do. She was talking to her abductors. And then she said, ah! And then she disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world was looking for her. 2 days she
For
was
2
gone,
days,
right?
49 hours.
And then she showed back up at her mama's house on the front step, said the abductors dropped her back off and left her there. Trey, what did you think about this story first before we get to the scheme and the plot of it all, the trick of it all?
What's happened? I actually had it happened in Alabama. I have a couple of Caucasian friends who live in Alabama, and my first thing was because sometimes they don't be looking for us, right? So I asked them. I said, "Is the news actually reporting this Carlee Russell situation locally?" And they both was like, "Yeah." He was like, "It's all over the news. They looking for all this other kind of stuff." One of my friends said where the girl reported where she was at. It's an exit away from his girlfriend's house. So like it was like so busy. It was looking for her, and I was like, man, it was him. The three of us was like just saying we hope they find her. And I was like, man, it's just sad. For one, I'm like, where she's at, where the baby at. Then I was like, people are so evil. I was like, somebody probably used the baby to set it up for her to, get out the car to abduct her.
That's what we all
like,
thought.
man.
We all thought the baby was a ploy.
But then, probably like 16 hours into the situation, I started thinking. Now, I watch a lot of TV, y'all. Faithfully, I watch Criminal Minds, like faithfully. Okay,
ID channel.
CSI, faithfully. Okay, 911 with Angela Bassett, faithfully. So I started thinking. I said something don't seem right. Then I called my dad. I was talking to my dad about it. I said, have you ever heard of someone calling 911 and being able to get off the phone if they're reporting somebody being kidnapped or something like that? I said, that just don't seem right. I said, no, I may adding up. The math is not mathing because ain't no way in hell she got off the phone with 911 to call her family member to say that she saw a baby. So I said,
because you're right. When you call, because you're right, Trent. And I didn't think about this until you said that when we were talking, on the phone previously. Like when you call 911 and there's an emergency, whatever the case may be, they're gonna stay on the phone with you until help arrives. Okay, and especially when there's an infant on the side of the interstate, I would imagine that the 911 operator is gonna stay on the line while this emergency is happening.
So I was like, it's a lie. It's all a lie. It was all a lie.
The lies. So the whole world was looking for this girl. We issuing prayers on social media. When things happen, I usually try to wait at least 24 hours before I put something up about it, just to make sure, the story goes through a 24-hour news cycle and that it's legit. The 24 hours passed, so I had put up the night before she got found, like, let's pray for this girl. She done had this boy who we thought was her brother get on there and say his sister was missing. Come to find out that wasn't even her real brother. Her mom and daddy giving interviews. The daddy was looking like, child, I know my daughter. My daughter lying. Something don't even sound right. Something don't seem right. She pops up. Everybody thankful. Oh God, she's good. She escaped. Whatever. We didn't know, but she said the person dropped off. They dropped her off. I'm thinking, okay, maybe they could have dropped off because they saw that she was getting all this national attention. I don't want no problems. Let's go ahead and drop this bitch back off at the house. Child, come to find out it's a whole lie. Everything was a lie.
But y'all didn't think it was a lie when she got dropped off. First of all, did the abductors know where she lived?
Well, she probably told where she stayed at.
Yeah, because she ain't get fucking kidnapped. I was so pissed. Lock her the fuck up. Somebody told me they don't want her to get locked up because it's enough black people in prison. Damn it, it's enough in prison. Add one more.
Lock her up.
Trey, I don't know. Now, what she did was wrong. Don't get me wrong. It was wrong. This girl searching how to steal money from a register without getting caught. Taken was her favorite movie that she was searching for.
How much it costs for an Amber Alert.
Just leaving all the breadcrumbs. Now, I don't think that she should go to jail, Trey. I mean, what she did was wrong. Because she basically did what Justice Smollett did too. He lied to us too, allegedly. There is enough people in jail. I just think she should do community service and have to pay back the resources that was used to try to find her. That's crazy. You know what? This situation is crazy. Like
it's so crazy.
About, like lost and found. You wasn't lost, girl.
You wasn't.
Lost. What was she doing? Where was she at?
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. I want to know where was she at. They said she didn't stay in no hotel. But for 49 hours, where was she at? She wasn't in her car because they took her in her car.
Ticket. Like, girl, where was you at? This whole time was where could she have possibly been? Was she chilling in a tree? Like, where was she at? And if anybody was an accomplice to her,
somebody was.
They need to be found guilty as well.
Oh, they need to go to jail. The people who's accomplice?
No, I didn't say jail. They just need to be found guilty, and they need to pay restitution, and they need to do community service as well too.
Maurice, Jail. Jail. They need to
Lock
go to
her
jail.
up. Lock her up. Lock her up.
Now she's single. Her boyfriend broke up with her. She lost her job. She got fired. Her sorority is I don't know what you call it. She's being kicked off her sorority or whatnot.
Girl,
But she's an AKA.
listen, that was, now I'm gonna be 100% honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most devastating part of this whole situation, to find out that she was a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. That, and I just found that out because you told me last night that she was an AKA. How dare you? How dare you devalue this organization, the first black sorority, the ladies of Salmon Pink and Apple. How dare you? This was a serious matter.
It was.
Well, it really wasn't a serious matter because it wasn't true.
It was serious because you had everybody looking for you.
We were
everybody thinking he
looking
was
for
dead.
you.
Everybody thinking he was dead. You had us wondering where his baby was at. It was no baby. It was no. And then what pisses me off is now she won't even come to the light. He has her lawyers sending messages that she apologized and she's asking for time to understand. Girl, no. Jail. Lock her the fuck up.
Do not pass go.
Don't even collect 200. Straight to jail.
And our last story of the evening is this whole debacle between Jess Hilarious, basically Jess Hilarious versus the entire trans community, okay? You got T.S. Madison who up there, you got Flame Monroe, you got the Angelica girl, you got Laverne Cox crying now all on her live, saying that trans girls are being murdered and they're being killed. Can we stop all of this confusion? So how all of this stuff started was there was a trans lady by the name of Blessing Rose. She did a video. Take a look.
This is what I mean when the transphobia just comes out. The audacity, the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't, okay? You don't own periods. You don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person. But as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it.
And for those of you who don't know what cis mean, when it says a cis woman or cis male, that's basically a real woman or a real female, people who were born in their gender. Now, when I saw that video, I was like, well, they are the gatekeepers. They do own menstrual cycles because they're the only ones that can have.
Wait.
They are the only ones that bleed.
Hold on. So I was having a conversation earlier with a coworker of mine. Let me be professional. Hold on. I was having this conversation with a coworker of mine who's a female who actually is bisexual. And we were talking about the whole thing. Yes, I do agree that women own the menstrual, right? However, I did inform her that born men, we have periods. We do have those. But we don't go through what women go through as far as the bleeding, the cramping and everything. We just have mood swings. We have those moments.
Girl, that is not a period. Stop your bullshit. That is not a period.
That's what we equate to.
Here you go. Here you go about the confused stuff. Stuff is already confusing enough, Trey. And here you go talking about we don't have no damn period. We just have a bad attitude sometimes.
We have a time of the month.
No, we don't have no time of the month. We just got a bad attitude with mood swings, okay? We just niggas. We just act like goddamn niggas sometimes, okay? So don't you start this confusion. It's already confusing enough out here.
Oh, you're the one that's confused.
Whether a woman transitions over to a trans man and she don't remove her parts, if I'm not mistaken, she's still gonna bleed. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna get into this. But women who are born with uteruses and ovaries, they bleed. Okay.
That's like there's a trans. Her name is Nikita Drugan. You ever seen her? Beautiful. I'll show you a picture of her. She's beautiful, but she has not removed her man part. She has the breast, but she actually did an underwear shoot, and you can still see her print.
Male, Flame Monroe, T.S. Madison, they got titties, but they still, all of them got their dicks. So Jess Hilarious saw this video that Blessing Rose did, and she was like, hold up. Wait a minute. We are the gatekeepers. We are real women in the sense that they're born females.
Who the fuck is gonna stand up for us? Who the fuck stands up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? What's the only only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on. Stop talking out your fucking ass. Wake up. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We the only one that fucking bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth. We make y'all people. We make y'all. Y'all come from us. Can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never ever get. You'll never be that.
She messed up that and she was a little aggressive. She used the term real women, which is offensive to trans women. The whole thing about we were born with the parts y'all aren't, y'all striving to be something that you'll never be, real women. And then she kind of made the analogy of trying to say that they are basically mentally unstable because they are trans or whatever. What's the difference between you and someone who is diagnosed with mental illness? She was like, we make y'all. Then you had T.S. Madison who jumped in first. This is what T.S. Madison had to say. There are so many real women that get mistaken for being transgender women, and that's where a lot of the anger comes from. I do hope they take a good look at how transphobia affects all. And then it just kind of started a whole back and forth. There's been an ongoing joke that Jess Hilarious looks like a man. And she's even said that a celebrity hit her up before thinking that she was a trans man. So here we got all of the pictures coming up with, she got that little fan ponytail at the top. Insults started being exchanged between all people. T.S. Madison went off and she was like, at Jess Hilarious, I have never disrespected you, nor came at you publicly when you said sideways shit I don't like. I inboxed you. Your mouth don't put no fear in my heart. You not the only bitch that can put a reed on the floor. So if it's up, then it's up. But as a grown individual, I don't want to go that route because that's not going to solve nothing. But we can. I'm all day with it. Now, I posted what I said because of what came out, your own experience. Trey, what do you think about all of this? Because we got Angelica who done jumped in. Now Flame Monroe jumped in and told Angelica, bitch, you don't want none. Keep your mouth closed. Keep my name out your mouth. Laverne Cox is crying now. What do you make of all of this?
So I don't mean to laugh, but when you say Laverne Cox is just crying all on the camera, it made me giggle. I think so often we get mixed up in situations, or we get in this whole debacle of arguments when it comes to stuff because people don't know how to mind their own business. And I think that we will all be in a better situation when people will learn to mind their own business. Now I say this on a normal basis. People say, "Oh my God, Trey, I can't believe you're almost 40. You don't look it." Well, I tell you, I drink water often and I mind my own fucking business. So when people speak on shit that don't have nothing to completely do with them, this is why we get into these whole bunch of arguments, is because people like Jess Hilarious want to get on her fucking social media and she want to talk all this shit that does not even relate to her. Probably don't even have anybody in her life that's close that she can even say, let me go have this conversation with them before I even speak on shit like that. You know, let me go talk to this person and see how it may affect someone. Because you forget, everybody is different. I remember when I was growing up, my brother said to me, you know, how could you like boys? You know, you're supposed to like girls. And I said, you know what will make us different is what make the world turn. So when you sit here and mind your own business and worry about what you got going on, it won't start this whole bunch of drama. But see, the thing about it is why I don't fuck with Jess is because she always in somebody's business. She always got something to say about something that have nothing to do with her. And this is why I don't fuck with her, because her mouth will always get her in trouble. She need to shut the fuck up and worry about the business that pays her and keep doing her little comedian shows, because the bitch ain't even barely that funny. I'll say this and I'll say it again. Tell them blue in the face. You mind your own business. Stuff is more cohesive. Stuff is more copacetic. Stuff flows better. So to my message to Jess, and you can be Jess with the mess, mind your own fucking messy business.
And I'm probably about to piss a lot of people off, but this is how I feel. You can be called whatever you want to be called. If you're a man, you want to live your life as a woman, and you want me to call you and refer to you as a woman, I'm going to do it. If you're a man and you now want to live your life as a woman and you want to be referred and called a woman, I will actually do that. I will respect you. I will respect your wishes. We make it extremely difficult for people to really understand what's going on in our communities. All of these different names, all of these different labels, LGBTQ, elemental P, it's all confusing. And I identify, I'm a gay man. And it's confusing for me.
You are?
We cannot get mad at everything everybody says. There is a lot more serious shit going on in this world than somebody being called a real woman or a real man, or if you bleed or not bleed. Well, I just feel that we have to be able to come to the table and talk. And when we talk, people are going to say the wrong thing. It's to a point now where you do have some straight people who are so afraid to even have the conversation because they don't want to get canceled, or they're trying to learn and they may say the wrong thing and then the gays get all upset. We just do too much sometimes, especially if they're trying to get tolerance. Yes, there are some people who are just hateful, and they're going to be hateful. Those are the people we ain't trying to deal with. Let's just deal with the people who are trying to be our allies, who are trying to understand, move on from there. Jess, girl, you put your foot in your mouth. We have to stop being so sensitive about everything. We can't disrespect cisgender, I hate even saying that damn word. We can't disrespect real women or real men in the process of us trying to be validated by them. We can't disrespect the same people who you trying to get validation from. Come on, y'all. We got to do better than this. We are not going to get to the finish line if we keep having all of these divisive conversations and discussions that's just not helping the overall cause.
Also, when there is a misunderstanding and when there is that point of having that conversation, people have to learn to use their platforms in a certain way. And Jess did not do that. If she wanted to speak on it, she could have possibly had that conversation on her podcast. She could have reached out to T.S. Madison, or people who live that life of transgenders, and say, hey, let's talk about it. Let's come to a common ground. If she don't do that, she opens up the wrong can of worms, and she puts her foot in her mouth, like you said. So you say, I don't think it's necessary people being sensitive, maybe to an extent, but people have to understand how to use their platforms in a certain way. I've changed the way I even use my platform, and I ain't even at her level, you know what I'm saying? But you have to be mindful of how you're using those things and just blabbing and just saying whatever the fuck you want and not being how it's going to affect someone.
That's true. Yeah, when people get reckless, that is a whole different situation. But I guess for me, you got people who are T.S. Madison, who are Flame and Roll, and even Angelica in a sense, who have made strides, and they're in circles. They're breaking barriers. And when we have agreements like this, it just sets everyone and the movement back. And it's not productive, because now you got trans women fighting with the real women, and the real women say, well, we real, we bleed, we got pussies. We don't have swords down there like Flame said that Angelica has. But I don't know. I say, T.S. Madison, Jess, y'all go to the Breakfast Club. Let's get somebody who can mediate and help have a fruitful conversation. Let's try to resolve this foolishness. Charlamagne can participate, but let's bring someone in who can really have that conversation. Just respect people. If people want to be called men or women, just let them be called what they want to be called. You know, and let's just respect that.
Well, while we on that about respecting, about what people call, I've asked you not to call me girl, and you still call me girl. What you about to say, girl?
Y'all so much
See,
for watching this
he don't
episode.
respect it. He don't practice what he preach like Barry White.
Damn. You pulled
Got him.
hard. Thank y'all so much for watching this episode of The Wind Up. Again, please make sure that you like this video, share it. We hope you enjoyed it. Comment, let us know what you're thinking. Subscribe to our channel as well too. And again, thank y'all so much. So for those of you who actually do watch this, thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. And remember, you are good enough to achieve any and everything you put your mind to. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Peace.